Who was Friedrich Nietzsche? Born in 1844 in Prussia, Nietzsche was a brilliant philosopher, philologist, and cultural critic. He suffered from poor health throughout his life, which led to his early retirement from academia and a prolific writing career. His works, like Thus Spoke Zarathustra and Beyond Good and Evil, are poetic, aphoristic, and often misunderstood. Nietzsche wasn't just a thinker. He was a prophet of change, warning society about the crumbling foundations of Western civilization. Now, the phrase "God is dead" appears in Nietzsche's The Gay Science, specifically in aphorism 125, titled The Madman. It's not a literal claim that a deity has ceased to exist. Instead, it's a metaphor for the erosion of religious belief in modern society. In Nietzsche's words, God is dead. God remains dead, and we have killed him. This isn't about atheism per se. Nietzsche himself was raised in a religious family and grappled with faith. The death of God refers to the cultural shift where traditional religious values no longer hold sway, leaving a void in human existence. To understand the God is dead meaning, we need context. In the 19th century, Europe was undergoing rapid change. The Industrial Revolution, scientific advancements like Darwin's theory of evolution, and the rise of secularism. Religion, once the bedrock of morality and purpose, was being questioned. Nietzsche saw this as inevitable. The death of God symbolizes the loss of absolute truths, divine order, and eternal meaning. It's a cultural diagnosis, not a celebration or condemnation. Enter nihilism, the dark heart of Nietzsche's message. Nihilism explained simply, it's the belief that life is inherently meaningless, that there are no objective values, truths, or purposes. If God is dead, then the moral framework he provided crumbles. Without divine commandments, what grounds right and wrong? Nietzsche warned that this realization could lead to widespread despair. He described it as a shadow that would engulf humanity, causing people to wander aimlessly, clinging to outdated beliefs or sinking into apathy. But Nietzsche wasn't a nihilist himself. He used the term to critique the passive acceptance of this void. In Will to Power, he argued that true nihilism arises when we deny life's inherent chaos and try to impose false meanings. The death of God exposes the illusion of objective morality. Think of it as pulling back the curtain on the Wizard of Oz. Suddenly, values like good and evil are human constructs, not divine decrees. Why does this matter today? In our modern world, with declining church attendance and rising secularism, Nietzsche's nihilism explained feels eerily relevant. Social media, consumerism, and scientific rationalism often leave us questioning. What's the point? Without God, are we just atoms in a meaningless universe? Nietzsche's insight is that this nihilism isn't the end. It's a beginning, a call to create our own meaning. So, what did Nietzsche God is dead really mean? It's not just about religion's decline. It's a radical call for human transformation. Nietzsche believed that killing God was necessary for humanity to mature. In pre-modern times, people lived under the shadow of God, deriving purpose from faith. But now, with that shadow gone, we must face the abyss of freedom. This freedom is terrifying. Without external authorities, we're responsible for our own values. Nietzsche's deeper message is about affirmation. He didn't want us to mourn God's death, but to rejoice in it. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, he introduces the concept of the Übermensch, or overman, a self-overcoming individual who creates new values. The death of God clears the way for this. No longer slaves to divine will, we can become creators of our destiny. Critics often misinterpret Nietzsche as a nihilist or atheist, but he was more of a life affirmer. He critiqued Christianity for promoting weakness and resentment, arguing it stifles human potential. The death of God is an opportunity to embrace life's struggles, to say yes to existence despite its horrors. This ties into his idea of eternal recurrence. If you had to live your life over and over, would you affirm it? Nietzsche's philosophy is a challenge. Confront the void and build something magnificent. Nietzsche's ideas didn't stay confined to the 19th century. They profoundly shaped modern philosophy, paving the way for existentialism. Thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre, Albert Camus, and Martin Heidegger drew directly from him. Existentialism, as a branch of modern philosophy, explores human freedom, choice, and the search for meaning in an absurd world. For instance, Sartre's concept of bad faith, denying our freedom by pretending external forces control us, echoes Nietzsche's critique of herd morality. Camus, in the myth of Sisyphus, tackles the absurdity of life post-God, urging us to rebel against meaninglessness. Heidegger, influenced by Nietzsche, delved into being and time, questioning existence without divine anchors. Beyond existentialism, Nietzsche's death of God influenced postmodernism. Philosophers like Jacques Derrida and Michel Foucault questioned grand narratives, seeing them as power structures. In literature and culture, it's everywhere, from Dostoevsky's novels to modern films like The Matrix, where characters awaken to a simulated reality without inherent meaning. In today's context, the death of God meaning resonates in debates on ethics, AI, and climate change. Without absolute truths, how do we decide what's right? Nietzsche's legacy is a reminder that meaning is not given. It's made. Of course, Nietzsche's ideas aren't without flaws. Critics accuse him of elitism. The Übermensch sounds like a Superman for the privileged. His rhetoric has been misused by totalitarian regimes, like Nazis twisting his will to power. But Nietzsche himself was anti-nationalist, critiquing herd mentality. In the 21st century, with globalization and technology, the death of God feels more urgent. Nihilism explained through social media, endless scrolling, fake news, and identity crises. Yet, Nietzsche offers hope. Embrace the chaos, create your values. It's a call to authenticity in an inauthentic world. So is God really dead? For many, yes, culturally. But Nietzsche's point is philosophical. Even if God exists, we must live as if he doesn't, forging our paths. Wrapping up, Nietzsche's God is dead isn't a funeral dirge, it's a birth cry. It forces us to confront nihilism, reject passive despair, and embrace existential freedom. From nihilism explained to the dawn of existentialism, this idea reshapes modern philosophy. Nietzsche challenges us. With God gone, what will you create? Thank you for joining this exploration. If Nietzsche's words resonate, dive into his works. Remember, in the words of the madman, I come too early. My time has not yet come. But perhaps, in our time, it has.